Hello everyone, welcome to my channel English with Visali. Today we will discuss about third sem BCA English lesson The Trial for Murder, written by Charles Dickens. Summary. About the author Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, he was born on 1812 and he died on 1870. He was one of the greatest English novelists of the Victorian era. He is celebrated for his sharp social commentary, humor, and his ability to portray both the struggles of the poor and the corruption of the powerful. His novels like Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, and Great Expectations reveal his deep concern for justice, morality, and humanity. Dickens often combined realistic social observation with elements of mystery, the supernatural, and strong moral messages. In The Trial for Murder, he blends ghostly elements with a courtroom drama to criticize the flaws in the justice system and to show how truth often requires divine or supernatural intervention. Introduction to the story. The Trial for Murder is a short story that mixes crime, ghostly intervention, and moral justice. It was first published in 1865 and is narrated by a juror who experiences strange supernatural events during a murder trial. The story presents the conflict between earthly justice and spiritual truth. It explores how a murdered man's spirit ensures that his killer is punished even when the earthly court system seems to fail. Through this, Dickens shows his belief that moral truth always prevails, sometimes through forces beyond human understanding. Detailed summary of the story. The story begins with an anonymous narrator who tells the reader that he is going to share a very strange and mysterious experience from his life. He says that although many people may not believe him, what he experienced was true. He was chosen as a juror in a murder trial, a serious case in which a man was accused of murdering another. From the moment the trial begins, the narrator senses something unusual and unnatural about the case and the courtroom atmosphere. Supernatural experiences begin. Soon after the trial starts, the narrator begins to see a strange, ghostly figure. This ghost stands close to the accused man and seems to look at him with deep sorrow and accusation. The narrator soon realizes that this ghost is none other than the spirit of the murdered man himself. At first, the narrator doubts his own senses. He wonders if he is imagining it. But he soon notices that the ghost expressions change whenever something important happens during the trial. For instance, when the witnesses lie or when the accused pretends to be innocent, the ghost reacts, frowning, shaking his head, or pointing toward the murderer. The ghost communication with the juror. Throughout the trial, the ghost appears only to the narrator. He does not speak, but he silently communicates with gestures, expressions, and movements. The ghost's presence fills the narrator with both fear and pity. He understands that the murdered man's spirit wants him to make sure justice is done. Whenever a false statement is made by the witnesses or the lawyers, the ghost expression becomes fierce and angry. Whenever the truth is revealed, the ghost appears calm and satisfied. The narrator feels that he has been chosen by fate to see the truth and to ensure that the murderer does not escape punishment. The murder trial. The trial continues with the usual procedures, lawyers presenting arguments, witnesses being examined, and evidence being discussed. However, the narrator's attention is constantly drawn toward the accused man and the ghost beside him. The accused tries to appear calm, but every time the ghost moves closer, he becomes visibly nervous and disturbed. The narrator also begins to feel the intense moral weight of what he is witnessing. He knows that no matter what the lawyers or judges decide, he has seen the truth that the accused man truly committed the murder. Influence on the verdict. When the time comes for the jury to discuss the verdict, the narrator remains silent at first, but the image of the ghost standing behind the murderer never leaves his mind. Finally, he speaks up strongly and tells the other jurors that the man is guilty beyond any doubt. Although he does not reveal the supernatural reason for his belief, his determination and moral conviction influence the rest of the jury. One by one, the jurors begin to agree with him. They finally decide that the man is guilty of murder. When the verdict is announced in the courtroom, the accused turns pale and collapses. At that very moment, the ghost disappears, its purpose fulfilled. After the trial, the narrator feels both relieved and shaken. He knows that his experience cannot be explained by science or reason, but he is certain that the spirit of the murdered man returned to ensure justice. He reflects on how human courts can be influenced by lies, manipulation, and lack of evidence, but divine justice never fails. The story ends with the narrator firmly believing that there are powers beyond human understanding that guide justice when the earthly system becomes blind. Themes and important points. Supernatural justice. Dickens uses the ghost as a symbol of divine or moral justice. Even when human systems fail, truth finds a way to be revealed through higher unseen powers. Conscience and morality. The narrator's conscience becomes a tool for truth. His moral strength and spiritual sensitivity allow him to see what others cannot. Corruption and legal systems. Through the courtroom setting, Dickens criticizes the weakness of human justice, where clever lawyers and false witnesses can hide the truth. Conflict between reason and the supernatural. The story blends realism and the supernatural, showing that not everything can be explained by science or reason. It is a reminder that the universe contains mysteries beyond human understanding. Justice and redemption. The murdered man's soul finds peace only when justice is served. This shows Dickens' belief that justice is the ultimate redemption both for the dead and the living. So, the story conclusion is the trial for murder is one of the Charles Dickens' most haunting and thought provoking stories. It combines courtroom realism with ghostly elements to show that truth cannot be buried. Through the character of the narrator, Dickens reminds readers that moral conscience and justice are stronger than lies and deceit. The story ends on a note of spiritual triumph. Justice is achieved not by law alone, but by the invisible hand of truth that even death cannot silence. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe my channel.